my name is Brian Casey, and we are here at RSNA 2022. We are here with Dr. Emanuel Kanal. He is a professor of radiology at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. He is director of MR services there and also director of emergency radiology. Dr. Kanal, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having invited me.
Yeah, so you are an expert in MRI, and you also follow closely the MRI contrast agents, and so we understand that there is a new MRI contrast agent that was recently approved by the FDA just maybe a few months ago, and it promises to be a pretty different, offers a lot of new capabilities. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. A new agent was approved actually just a few weeks ago, and it's based on the chemical name is gadopiclenol.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes it different, and I think what's going to give it tremendous promise, is that there are certain things that people have been concerned about over the past few years. I'm sure you remember with nephrogenic systemic fibrosis,
sure,
NSF, followed by the concerns of are there any safety issues associated with residual gadolinium or having some gadolinium stay in the brain or other parts of the body. And so there were some safety issues that surfaced in the last few years. Gadopiclenol was long time in coming, and I actually am very pleased that it's approved because it has it ticks all the boxes. It does everything that we were looking for. It does it right. Mm-hmm. It's a high relaxivity agent. In fact, it's by far the highest relaxivity of any of the agents that we use in neuroradiology.
And what exactly does high relaxivity mean? Essentially,
you can simply say it means potency. It means how strong is it for a given applied dose, how much does it shorten the T1 of that tissue? Mm-hmm. And so if you give a certain amount of this drug, the tissue will enhance, but it will enhance more than it would enhance if you gave any of the other neuroradiologic gadolinium-based contrast agents. So much so that, in fact, for the first time, this is the first neuro drug that is approved at half the dose of all the others.
And that's going to enable the use of less gadolinium exposure.
Exactly right.
Great.
So the half of the administered dose would give essentially the same amount of contrast enhancement that we were used to seeing before on full dose of the other agents that we use for neuro. And the other thing is that it's a macrocyclic agent, and there are many that feel that since macrocyclics they're tighter bonds, that they're less likely to leave as much in the patient after you administer them.
As opposed to some of the linear agents.
As opposed to some of the linear agents. And the studies do seem to suggest that there is more left over in a human. We're talking extremely small amounts, but for those small amounts, that there's more residual in a human left over after a linear agent typically than after a macrocyclic agent. We don't know if that's a safety issue or not, but just in case it is, this is a macrocyclic agent, and once again would be leaving less than the other linear agents.
Now, another interesting thing about this agent was it was actually co-developed by two of the big contrast developers that are usually competitors in this space, correct?
It's an unusual relationship to be sure, but you are 100% correct. The same molecule apparently is about to be marketed under two different brand names from two different competing companies. And I think that will make it very interesting for the entire market. It's always good to have competition, and to have the same agent now being marketed by two different companies gives us some competition and some choices, some options.
Great. Well, that's probably a sign of how important this new technology is in terms of reducing gadolinium exposure.
I would agree. I think this is going to be an exciting opportunity for us as end users to be able to get the contrast enhancement that we want and give and leave even less. I think it's great options for us.
And is this agent currently in the field, or are these companies still trying to get it out to
I know
users?
that they're approved already, but I don't believe that they'll actually be marketed till probably the first quarter of 2023, when they'll probably be out there for sale and actually being used in humans for the first time in the United States.
Okay, great. Well, something to look forward to.
I agree.
All right, well, thanks so much for being with us.
Truly my pleasure.
Signing off from RSNA 2022, my name is Brian Casey.